Hi everyone, my name is Pernille and I'll be your teacher for SummitForYouth's online Foundations of Personal Finance course. I'm so excited you're here, and thank you for taking the initiative to further your knowledge of personal finance with us. Welcome to our very first lesson and a journey that's going to help you understand something super important in life: money. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. I don't even have a job yet, so why do I need to learn about money? But guess what? You probably already use money in some way. Maybe you get an allowance, or maybe you save up birthday money, or even earn a few dollars helping your neighbors or doing chores. That means you're already making choices with money, and that's what this course is all about. Today, we're going to look at what money really is, how people use it, and why it's so important to make smart decisions with it, even when you're young. Let's look at what we're learning today. First, we're going to define money and understand how it helps people. Then, we'll talk about something called personal finance, which is just a fancy way of saying how you manage your money. And finally, we'll be learning about how the ways that you can use money today and how they can actually shape your future and set your long-term goals. As we're going through this lesson, keep an eye out for these key terms: money, personal finance, financial goals, and opportunity cost, as you'll be hearing them a lot throughout this lesson and the course in general. These may all sound like big ideas, but don't worry, I'll explain everything clearly, and you'll see how it all connects to your everyday life. Let's start with the basics. What is money? Money is something people use to buy things they want or need. But money isn't always paper bills or coins. It can also be numbers on a screen, like when you use a debit card or an app to pay. A long time ago, before money existed, people traded things. That was called bartering. For example, if I had extra apples and you had some bread, we might trade. But what if I didn't want bread? Then we had a problem. That's why people created money. Money gave everyone a fair and easy way to trade. Over time, people went from trading things, like apples, to using coins, then to paper money, and now to digital money with apps like Venmo, Cash App, or Apple Pay. Money works because people trust that it has value. It's not the paper or the plastic card that matters. It's what we believe it can buy. So remember, money is a tool. It's something we use to help us live our lives, meet our needs, and reach our goals. Now, let's talk about how people use money. Most of the time, we use money for two types of things: needs and wants. Needs are things that we must have to live. That includes food, clothing, a place to live, water, electricity, shelter, and sometimes even things like medicine. Meanwhile, wants are things that we don't need to survive. They're the extras, the fun things, like new toys, snacks, games, apps, or even concert tickets. Can you think of something you spent money on recently? Now I want you to think about this. Was it a need or a want? It's totally okay to spend on wants. Everyone does. But the key is to make sure we're taking care of our needs first and not spending everything on the fun stuff first. When you have a balance between spending for fun and spending wisely, trust me, you're already managing money like a pro. Now, we're going to learn about a term that you will hear a lot in this course, and also one of our key terms: personal finance. Personal finance means how you handle your money. That includes how you earn it, spend it, save it, and how you use it to plan for your future. Let me give you an example. Let's say you get $10 a week for allowance. You decide to spend $5 on snacks and save the other $5 in a piggy bank. That's personal finance because you're managing your money. The way we use money can either help us or cause stress. That's why learning personal finance early is such a big deal, because it's about making sure your money works for you, not the other way around, where you're in stressful situations like debt. It's not just for adults. You're already making money decisions, even if they're small ones. Now, some of you might still be wondering, why should I care about this now? Here's why. The money choices you make when you're young teach your brain financial habits, good habits like saving, planning, and thinking before spending, which will help exercise your brain with these financial tidbits of information and make your life so much easier as you get older. If you spend every dollar right away, it becomes harder to save up for something big. But if you learn to save even a little or think about what you're buying, you start to build money habits that last a lifetime. And here's the best part. When you understand money, you get to make bigger choices. You'll feel more confident, more in control, and more prepared when it's time to make bigger decisions, like buying a phone, applying for a job, or choosing how to spend your paycheck. Now, onto another one of our key terms. This is a big one: financial independence. It sounds like a lot, but it's really simple. It basically means that you're able to pay for your own needs without depending on someone else. It doesn't mean you have to move out and live on your own right now, but it does mean that you're learning how to be more responsible with your money. When you're financially independent, you can make your own choices and take care of yourself. That's freedom. Think about it. If you always rely on someone else to give you money or tell you how to use it, you don't have full control. But if you've saved up for something and buy it with your own money, that feels pretty amazing, right? Financial independence starts with knowing how to manage what you have, no matter how little or how much. Now, let's talk about another one of our key terms: opportunity cost. It also sounds complicated, but once again, it's super simple, and you're going to be hearing that a lot in finance. There's all this complicated jargon that's always being thrown around, but in reality, they're really simple but important concepts. Okay, back to opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is essentially what you give up when you choose something else. Let's take a simple example. Say you have $10. You could spend it on snacks now, or you could save it towards a video game. If you buy snacks, your opportunity costs the progress you could have potentially made toward the game or other savings for bigger items in the future. But if you save for the video game, you can eventually get the video game. So you're trading. Essentially, every time you spend money, there's a trade-off. And being aware of that trade-off helps you make smarter choices. This doesn't mean you should never buy anything fun. It just means thinking before spending. Ask yourself these two questions before you spend any money. Is this worth it? And is there something I'd rather have later? That small pause can change everything and set you up on a path to be financially successful. Okay, let's stop for a minute and think about a few important questions. Why do people value money so much? Is it because it buys stuff, or is it also because it gives you freedom, choices, and safety? And our next question: how can the way you use money today affect your future? If you always spend every dollar, what might happen later if you have an emergency? What if you learn to save now? And how could that help you reach bigger goals? Take a moment and feel free to write your answers down or just think about them quietly in your head. These are the kinds of questions that help you build a stronger money mindset. Okay, now it's time for our activity. Take a moment and write down 3 short-term goals, which essentially means things you'd like to buy or save for in the next few weeks or months. And 3 long-term goals, which are things you want in the future, maybe in the next few years, like a bike, a laptop, or even your first car. Now, rank each item in those lists from most important to least important. Finally, think about this. What are some choices I can make to help me reach these goals in order from most important to least important? Make sure to always prioritize your financial goals. Maybe this means saving a little more now or waiting before spending. Maybe it means saying no to something small today to get something awesome later. This is the start of your financial planning journey. And yes, even kids can do it. Okay, let's review what we learned today. Money is a tool that helps people trade and buy what they need and want. Personal finance is essentially how you just manage your own money. Even as a kid or a teen, your choices with money matter. They can shape your future. Opportunity costs mean thinking about what you give up when you make a choice. And learning these skills all help you move closer to the overall goal of financial independence. Money can seem tricky, but it's really about habits, planning, and understanding what matters the most to you. You are already on your way to being financially smart. Great work today. In the next lesson, we'll learn all about how people earn money and how you can too. See you then.